the recording. All right, everyone, we're aware that this meeting is being recorded, that it will be posted on the PCPB website and YouTube channel. This meeting is called to order at 5:51 p.m. Charlie is official. He said it's about to go down. All right, so we're all here. We've made quorum. Going over and reviewing and approval of the minutes for our, sorry about that, for our May meeting. I sent those. Apologies for the barking dog. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. All right. Okay. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes? And if so, does anyone have any amendments that need to be made?
I don't, and unless anybody else has, I would make a motion to approve.
All right.
I'll second.
Eva, all right, and all in favor, raise your hand or put your hand up emoji.
Margaret's in.
All right, thank you, Margaret. You up first. And then anyone have any non-agenda comment?
Quick comment I saw today, I think we had invited Ann Jackson to give an update about non-toxic San Diego.
Mhm.
And I don't know if she is or is not able to join. I think we're waiting to hear from her, but she posted today that there is a formal update about non-toxic San Diego and the effort to, get pesticides out of public parks, and an update about the pilot projects next week, I believe on the 28th. Let me look up the time really quickly, and I'll post it in the chat.
Yeah, I had reached out to her and she was not able to come and provide an update. She's working, and she was hoping to get a backup, but that wasn't, she wasn't able to do that, but she did provide, I asked her for that update. So if you have that, did you want to screen share that with the group or?
So it's I just found it. It's a Zoom meeting, and it's next week, the 28th at 6 p.m. She didn't post the Zoom link. She posted it on Facebook, and I'm sure we can reach out to her and see how we can actually get the link to join the meeting. But it's next week, again, the 28th at 6 p.m. You may also be able to find that information if you go directly to the Non-Toxic San Diego Facebook page or website.
Yeah, I did want to share with the group though, something that she did share. She did, so I asked her for an update, and basically she said that, I wish I could provide, this is what she says, I wish I could provide you an update, but the contacts I have been non-responsive from the county, city, and the parks since COVID started. The pilot program ended, and I've reached out for updates, but heard zip back. She's going to reach out to the county, Nathan Fletcher, this weekend, and then that's all we had at that point. So she wasn't able to provide me with a formal update, but I will reach out and get more info and share that with everyone. Do you have, where did you see that? Did she email that to you, or it's on Nextdoor? Oh, you're muted.
No, sorry, she posted it on the Facebook group, the non-toxic, a link to non-toxic San Diego. I have the call-in number to the meeting. There is a link on their Facebook site. It's too long of a link for me to retype into the chat, but I'll put in the date and the call-in phone number for audio only if anyone wants to just listen to the update.
Thank you so much, Eva. And then just going forward, I think that kind of, I know we kind of are being switching around, but that'll kind of cover that portion of the information item for non-toxics update. But I wanted to move forward into our next item, which is our action item. And this is the liaison rules and requirements for the high school level students that we want to encourage to get to start participating in the board and, get excited for all things civic, and want to serve in their community. So Eva has done some great work and kind of put the parameters of what eligible candidacy would look like. And so she created a list that was shared with the group. Did you want me to screen share that with the group right now? And then maybe we can ask if there are any other added items.
Sure, yeah, and I can briefly run through it too and sort of explain maybe my thought process behind it all. If anyone has questions or obviously suggestions, we'd welcome that.
Let me get it pulled up here real quick. Eva, can you share, you know that text that you had sent to me while I'm pulling this up? Can you share with the group the information you told me on that text earlier about COVID?
The COVID information?
Yeah, and just the kids.
Yeah, so I'm sure everyone's aware of the rising Delta, of the rising COVID number, really driven by the Delta variant. The majority of those getting sick and needing to be hospitalized and are dying from COVID currently are those who are not vaccinated. About 99% of those who are currently hospitalized and more than about 99.5% of patients dying currently from COVID are those that are unvaccinated. As you're well aware, anyone over the age of 12 is currently eligible to receive a vaccine, which leaves those younger than the age of 12 who are currently not able to get vaccinated. And this is completely anecdotal, but I was in touch with our pediatrician yesterday, and she mentioned that again, just over the last few days, there have been 6 children with positive COVID cases just in Point Loma. We're seeing that reflected at Rady's. You may know that my husband's an ER physician at Rady's. I work at Rady's, and I think this anecdotal evidence is definitely mirrored by what we're seeing in our patient population at Rady's. So, unfortunately, I think we're heading not in the right direction COVID-wise currently.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I just thought that was important information. All right. Thank you so much, Eva, for sharing that.
Sorry.
I do appreciate that. I did pull up the list of that. Can everyone see it? Everyone's got it? All right.
Okay. So I can briefly run through this. And again, this is not set in stone. This is really just sort of a starting point for our discussion. I sort of to be equitable, I think eligibility should be extended to local high school students who either live in the PCPB area or attend one of the local high schools. Not everyone who lives here may necessarily attend a local high school. Not everyone who attends a local high school necessarily lives here. People choice into various schools. Students from underprivileged areas in San Diego made choice into a Point Loma schools, and I don't believe that those should be criteria for exclusion based on the zip code you live in. I think if you go to school in a Point Loma school, I would imagine that you have some investment in the community. Sort of practically speaking, I don't know that it's feasible for the environmental committee chair to really supervise more than 2 students at a time. But again, I'm very much open if anyone feels that we should have more students be present, then that's certainly up for discussion. The sort of term, I loosely thought that October through May would be reasonable, just because school generally starts at the very end of August or early September. It would give students an opportunity to submit an application that the environmental committee could review during their September meeting and then bring to the board at the end of September. So really realistically, students wouldn't be able to start until they're approved by the full board in the end of September meeting and could start in October. And then the school year generally ends early June. So it seems like end of May might be a good time to wrap things up for students. And then, I think it'll be nice for students to be exposed to not only the board meetings, but also subcommittee meetings. And the expectation could be that students attend maybe a total of 6 meetings, given that we go dark usually in December. If you look at October through May, that's what, 7 months, 7 meetings they could attend, with December being dark, and kind of split their time between board meetings and subcommittee meetings. So I don't know, I'm just, welcome your feedback and your input and what you think about the proposal and what changes you would like to see to that.
Those all sound really good.
I like the idea that you thought about like the kids choicing or going to alternate schools. I think when we do promote this, we can reach out to Point Loma High School and High Tech High. I think we could even, and then do something on Nextdoor too, to say if you live or go to school in the Boundary, regardless of if it's a school in the Peninsula or not. I think that'll just grow, the possible interest, people wanting to get involved.
So what are the parameters going to be to choose? Say we got 3, what are we going to be looking at?
I think that's a great question. So my question is, we would obviously manage them and then we would select them. In the event that we had multiple applications, I think we should go through the same process as we would any action item and, for a vote of some sort. Do you think there needs to be more criteria of hey, this is why you didn't get it, so we don't have hurt feelings? Or
I think behind the scenes, because I think behind the scenes, I don't know, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Or do I- Okay, so behind the scenes, I think there needs to be, we need to, as our committee, we need to figure out what we want to look for, because everybody's going to apply. Just say there's 5 people or 5 students, say. I'm not going to say everybody, but there's 5 students going to apply, and one will be my daughter. I'm just kidding, but hopefully. But what's the criteria? Where are we going to draw the line? Like, are we looking at grades? Are we looking at community service? Are we looking at just going to do first come, first serve? Like, we have to, as a unit, we have to have our own decisions and like criteria, I guess, behind the scenes, so we can know what we're going to do.
I do like the idea, but again, this is my only thought on the education piece. And this is just me kind of like, that would be like saying board members needed to have a degree to participate or something. That's my thought on it. But I do like, a maintenance of their grades, at least, to maintain their GPA maybe. We don't set a standard, but that they maintain or improve their GPA while they are, I don't know if that is enforceable, but
but I think they should be able to submit their grades. I don't want to, not that a C student can't be adequate, but I think we have to have guidelines. We have to have some kind of cutoff. And just assume we have 10 applicants for our 2 positions, especially if we're going to post on Nextdoor.
And she does have a point, because maybe we could use that, and then that won't even really be considered. We'll look at it, but like, say we have 3 great awesome, 5 great awesome candidates. Well, we can't make up our mind, but hey, let's look at their grades. And then, we're seeing, hey, this person looks great on paper, but their GPA, they're suffering here. It doesn't seem to align.
I kind of disagree with you too, though, because I think if we solely look at grades or GPA, I don't think we're giving disadvantaged students a chance. I think if students show, the civic engagement and the motivation to want to participate in something like this, that really, taking part in this project and this process, there's no direct reward in terms of grade. There's no direct reward in terms of any sort of academic achievement. The reward is really their personal growth and becoming more civically engaged. And I would hate to discourage that in someone who may be struggling, but this may be their opportunity to kind of rise to the occasion. And maybe the criteria should be they need to attend the September environmental committee meeting.
Yeah,
If
attendance.
someone-
At the same time, where we're gonna have to decide, we need to, if they all attend,
Mhm.
where's our cutoff behind the scenes? We need to come up with our rules.
Can Margaret say something?
Sure, go ahead.
I have ran a few of these groups already. One was through Meals on Wheels. Another one was through Make-A-Wish. And then one through the Portuguese Hall with kids. And I'll tell you right off the bat, not everyone's going to stick to it when they apply. We don't want to have high expectations, especially since this is starting from the ground zero. For the first year, you want to get as many kids as possible to create some sort of team camaraderie to where you don't have to babysit, to where they work together. I personally wouldn't put really high expectations when this group hasn't even started and we haven't even given it a real trial to see how it's going to work. I know that the board is going to want bullet points, straightforward bullet points. What's the mission of this group? They're going to have their own mission statement. What exactly are they going to be working on? What are the goals? It's going to have to be just pretty much black and white, to the point, simple. And I really wouldn't put grade point average and all that. In today's age, especially with COVID and the pandemic, people are super sensitive. You really don't want to discriminate at all when it's a volunteer advisory board. I've learned this the hard way, doing work with charter schools, developing these kind of mentorship programs. And yeah, we have to just keep an open mind to the sensitivity of our expectations. That's all.
I concur with you, Margaret, but we still behind the scenes need to have our own, if we only have 2 candidates, great, we'll accept them. But if we have 3, then we're down to how are we going to say this third person is not adequate?
No.
We have to have some kind of guidelines behind the scenes. Us as a group need to have our own guidelines, whether we post it or not. We need to know something, because should they come back and Mr. X says, well, AV got chosen.
You're gonna have to post anything you do with a city board. Everything has to be public. You can't be behind the scenes.
No, I meant we need to decide as a committee what our guidelines are. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Why don't we make it a lottery? Why don't we say that the first criteria is you have to attend the September environmental committee meeting to present yourself and, give a short personal statement. If whoever does not attend to kind of present themselves is automatically disqualified.
I love that.
And then of the remaining candidates, let's say there are more than 2, whoever cannot commit to at least 6 board meetings, what if they say, oh, you know what, we're actually moving at the end of the school year, or I don't think I can do 6 meetings, is disqualified. Whoever shows up and is able to, agree or is able to really fulfill that requirement of attending 6 board meetings, and we have multiple candidates, then I say, do a lottery. I think that's the fairest way to do it. Otherwise,
Are you guys only trying to have? Are you only trying to have 1 student?
No, we're 2. We only want 2 because, again, being that we don't want to be herding cats in addition to everything.
But I think Eva made a good point, because if they have sports, they might be like, I'm too busy for this. I can't only go here. Or, they might have other obligations.
Right. And they're not going to commit right off the bat. They're going to say yes. But then, of course, as we know, kids change their mind and things grow. So I would hate for them to say, yeah, I'm going to do it. Then halfway through, quit. And then you've just got 1 kid in this program.
Margaret, just talking from experience having older kids, I think having, the 6 meeting commitment is fair, because all the other committees that I've been on with my girls, 66% is usually the commitment, 67%, 3/4. But I think if they're going to apply for this,
Oh my
they're
God.
going to be committed if they decide they want to move forward.
Okay.
You know, like my daughter, she was committed to doing 2 meetings a week and she's stuck with it.
And all right, and guys, I need to pause real quick. We have, for whatever reason, my thing is saying I have 9, Zoom is acting weird. So I have 9 minutes and 30 seconds before this meeting like stops. So Eva, I like everything that's here. So we want to add that they have to come and make a presentation and to the environmental committee
Mhm.
and then fill them out through that. And then from the applicants received, we will select those via a lottery. And that I think that'll be good too, because, you know, and I know with nepotism and all that, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, Tina's daughter got on there and Angela's got, you know what I mean? And it looked, the optics of it. And I think the
I
lottery.
won't have my kids apply. Just kidding.
No, you have to
My
have
daughter
them.
was she's not around, so.
So I like adding those 2 requirements to, you know, the presentation at the beginning, you know, in September, that they come to the environmental subcommittee and make a presentation, introduce themselves, along with the application. And again, the application, is it just going to be the board's application, basically? Is that what we're going to use? And then refer
I
to
think-
the bylaws for any election or any type of,
I think that's sufficient, but ask Eva.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we need to go, you know, in detail. I think just maybe a quick, short personal statement why they want to do this, and then just their sort of demographic information, so we know which school they attend or where they live to confirm they're eligible.
At that meeting, would they know if they got selected or not? Or would we vote, or where would they determine if they made, you know, if they got selected in the lottery?
Maybe a week out, maybe.
Mhm.
Or do it at the main board meeting and have Fred do it? I don't know.
I mean,
just
I
think
think
that if there
we
was,
We can have Margaret do it.
Yeah, she can pull it. It's like bingo, but out of a
Yeah.
hat.
No, I'm fine. I
maybe.
passed.
but if there's too many, if there's more than 2, then we can't decide right then and there. So we'll have to, you know, talk amongst ourselves.
But if we do a lottery, we can. Like, anyone who doesn't attend is disqualified. The other names go in a hat, and we literally pull names
Yeah.
during the meeting. So there is some accountability for us too. I think if we announce this a week later and nobody saw the lottery happen,
No, I think, I
people are
agree.
gonna compl-
Yeah.
That makes sense, Eva. Yeah, if it's gonna, I didn't realize you meant actually pick a name out of
So
it.
we
like,
do it at the
literally.
I didn't literally mean, I didn't realize that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and Margaret had a good point about, you know, that way these kids don't feel left out. They're not chosen because of any other reasons, just pure, your names go in a hat.
Yeah, you qualify and you might be one of the lucky
Mm.
participants. So,
Yeah.
all right.
So
So,
let me, while we have just a few minutes remaining, let me ask you this briefly, just procedurally. I know we had put this on the agenda for the board meeting tomorrow because we really didn't have time to give 72-hour notice. This is what we've submitted to the board. If we make changes to this now, can the board still vote on this tomorrow? My concern is if the board doesn't approve the process, you know, we're dark in August. If we want to start this in September and the process won't even be approved until the September board meeting, then I don't think we can get this up and running this school year.
I think from what I'm saying is I feel like we have enough. Do you think we need to spell out how we're gonna like
So
promote the event, promote it, and those parameters?
You know what? Last time they were really hard on you guys when we did the other issues and we had a lot of traffic. Remember we went and presented to the board about traffic stuff and
Yeah.
they said, go
You
back
can't
and
make
think
any
about it, even
changes
though
to
we
what you
thought,
proposed. I was in the hot seat. You can't make any changes to what you sent after the agenda's been finalized.
So even though we thought we were in the know, we had everything good, like even you, Mandy, had everything spelled out really well. We got still questioned on a lot of points. So I think if we have to only submit what Eva wrote right here,
Mhm.
then that's great. And we'll just have our backup when she speaks, you know, just say our agreements of, you know, specifics. If not, are we allowed to make an addendum like Eva asked?
Yes, you can. I mean, the board is the one that
But
has the
it's-
final, they can approve it with revisions and
What I would like-
suggestions.
How about this? What I would like to do is let's hold a vote with those and change and add those two things to it. And then have Eva send it, we can send it to Fred tonight, right after this meeting, give him the votes of what we decided on these items. And then, you know, they can push back if they want.
I mean,
And then
the
if
other-
that happens, then we'll have to come back, you know, and have another meeting. But
The other way we could
that's
do it,
the-
Mandy, is vote on this as is, because this is what was submitted to the board, so we could put it on the agenda for tomorrow. And then one of you, or, you know, someone who's in the know on this could present tomorrow a suggested addendum saying the environmental committee will select two students, you know, that sentence, via lottery, via, you know, attendance and lottery.
Yeah, I like
make-
that.
And
And maybe
suggest
the board
addendum.
will all kind of, then they'll be like, oh yeah, let's change it and go that way.
Would that
Yeah,
work?
the attendance on September's meeting and then the lottery, right?
Mhm. That way we can leave the document as is, and the board can say, well, you changed it within less than 72 hours, where we refuse to vote on it altogether. We can present this as is and then make an addendum with the board approval tomorrow.
I like that. Let's do that. Because again, we're not trying to be, you know, we're not trying to be sneaky here, but again, I do want to be transparent. So,
And the board may have their own suggestions, you know, they might want to make different changes to it as well.
and that's why I didn't think it'd be that big of an issue, but again, I want to, we can add those amendments tomorrow. So I'll make the motion to approve the requirements for the student liaison position for the board, the requirements that Eva has provided as is.
I can second.
And any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Margaret, you're there? Okay, awesome. So unanimous. All right. Yeah, that we finished up all of our items for our meeting. So we will present this tomorrow, and I like the idea of just offering those friendly amendments tomorrow for the parameters. So can I give you, will you reach out to Fred and let him know the outcome of the meeting?
Yep.
Okay, let him know
I
the count as well. He
Okay.
likes the count. So it was
Okay.
unanimous, 5-0.
I'll let him know. And then just to give you all a quick heads up, I will likely join the meeting late tomorrow and or miss bits and pieces. We're celebrating my daughter's birthday. It's actually on Saturday, but thanks to COVID and changes in work schedule, tomorrow is our only opportunity to have a little family dinner where we're all together for her. So I'm going to obviously prioritize my daughter and make sure she has a good dinner. But I will try to join the meeting. If I'm late for this discussion or somehow
I'll
figure
shoot
it
you
out,
a text. I'll shoot
Will
you a text.
will you
once
take
it
over, Mandy?
comes. Yeah, I'll be prepared for it, for sure.
Sounds good. And then I sent Fred a document outlining my thoughts on resuming in-person meetings. So he's aware of that and he can present that portion on my behalf if
All right,
all things go awry.
okay, well.
Well,
it
happy
is-
birthday to your daughter. And
Yes,
happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
How old is she turning?
She will be 9 and I cannot wrap my head around
9 years ago, you had her birthday.
Yeah, very unexpectedly 5 weeks early, and she was the tiniest little nugget, and now she's a confident 9-year-old.
Aw.
Nice.
All right, well,
We love our nuggets.
I'm gonna call this meeting, I'm gonna
Thank
adjourn the
you.
meeting at 6:20. Everyone have a great night.
Thank you. Good
Bye,
night, everyone.
Margaret.
Bye-bye.